Welcome back, lads and ladettes, to episode 84. Slowly but surely, we're just making our way to the century milestone, and I'm excited, man.
It is pretty cool. We're getting up there, almost at 100 now. We've been just cranking out episodes, and now we've got a couple more interviews scheduled. We pumped out on the Instagram yesterday. This episode will come out on Monday. So on Sunday, we put out a little promo video for our next guest that we're going to have on the next episode. You guys have seen him all over TikTok. I'm sure of it. Maybe he's found his way into your Twitter accounts, Instagram accounts, the iced coffee review guy. So that we're pretty pumped up about getting to interview him, getting to talk to him, bring that to you guys. But yeah, Magee's been back on the guest grind, emailing millions of people every single day, shooting our shot, seeing who we can get on. So it's pretty exciting.
It's honestly such a one. Thanks, Ty, for coming on. Like, we're huge fans of his, and I think we're gonna have a great interview whenever he hops on with us. Probably next episode. But the grind for guest hunting is like, it's such a love hate. I have such a love hate relationship with it. Like, it's so rewarding, but it's a pain in the ass, man. And like, I'll think of someone, or like I'll get somebody in my ear, like, oh, you should ask this guy. I'm like, oh, that's great. Like, what a great idea. And then I'll go into like the DMs or whatever the case may be. And then I'll already see I've messaged that person like a year ago.
Yeah.
And I've like probably revisited the same few people like over and over and over again. But when you do like hit something, it's a good feeling. It's a rewarding feeling.
Yeah, it is pretty satisfying. I know getting that text or seeing an email come in saying like we've booked a guest is so satisfying once you see it. Yeah. But before we get too deep into this episode, I want to just start right off here. Episode 84, player battle. This is a unique player battle, and I think you said it's a good one for Father's Day because it's a baby crying competition. It's called the Naki Sumo. And basically what it is, in a district in Tokyo, Japan, they try to make their infants cry. So at the Naki Sumo Baby Crying Festival, a ritual celebrated in the Sensoji Temple in Tokyo every year. At this festival, each child, so it's a legit infant, an infant child, is accompanied by a sumo wrestler who will make them bawl. A few of the Japanese people who have been practicing this tradition for hundreds of years now. The word Naki Sumo originates from a Japanese proverb, Naku ko wa sodatsu, which roughly translates to crying babies grow fat. So people believe that the wails of the babies and the crying of the babies will ward off evil spirits, which otherwise would harm the community. They also believe that the crying babies will grow to be healthier than the rest. So during the sport, a sumo wrestler gets onto the stage, but not for fighting. They hold the baby in their arms and will try to scare them into crying. The wrestlers often wear eerie masks and yell, cry, cry, cry. The baby that cries the most and loudest is said to live longer and healthier life than the others. So I think this is a good one because we're obviously just going to switch these two competitors into the roles of the sumo wrestlers, and they're going to be the ones that try to make the infants cry. And I'm pretty excited about this one because I think it's a good one for Father's Day because you're trying to not make your child cry. But I think it's kind of funny. Like, you see those videos online where like a dad shows a kid something or like hides their face and then the child starts to cry. And it's like always a dad who does it. And then the kids, they're like, oh no, don't cry. Like, messing with their kids. So good one for Father's Day. And these two competitors for episode 84, I think they're going to be great because the one guy is just going to be really well known from people in Toronto. And the other guy is just a hilarious internet TV media personality who's very loud and I guess like in your face and loves to use props and stuff. So without further ado, let's get into our Naki Sumo baby crying competition. Our first competitor, he was drafted in the 5th round, 150th overall in the 2004 NHL entry draft by the Montreal Canadiens. He played 12 seasons in the NHL for the Montreal Canadiens, Toronto Maple Leafs, Washington Capitals, and the New York Islanders. In 534 career games played, he put up 125 goals and 171 assists for 296 points. A Calder Cup champion and a 2-time Belarus champion, as well as a 4-time Belarus Player of the Year. A 5'11", 185-pound center from Potsdam, Germany, Mikhail Grabovski. His competitor in the baby crying competition was drafted in the 7th round, 192nd overall by the Denver Broncos in the 1990 NFL Draft. He played 14 years in the NFL, 12 with the Denver Broncos, and 2 with the Baltimore Ravens. In 204 games played, he had 815 receptions, 10,060 yards, and 62 touchdowns. An 8-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro, a member of the All-1990s Hall of Fame team, a member of the Football Hall of Fame, and most importantly, a 3-time Super Bowl champion. A 6'2", 228-pound tight end from Chicago, Illinois, Shannon Sharpe. So this is a good one because Mikhail Grabovski is just such a character and is like almost just a funny player, especially to those who live in Toronto and like are Leafs fans and stuff. And I feel like even just people around the NHL just know Mikhail Grabovski and probably just think he's like, it's just a funny guy. Like I just looking at Mikhail Grabovski, remembering him from his playing days here, he's just a character of a guy and someone you like make fun of, being like, yeah, Grabo, and him and Kuhlman, and then they got shipped out to the island, and then he ended up getting picked up by the Vegas Golden Knights just strictly as a contract thing. Like he never played a game there, but it's just like a funny, like you'd think he's like a Russian and then he's from Germany, but he's he's Belarusian or however you say that. And then you go to Shannon Sharpe, and Shannon Sharpe is this loud yelling TV personality who puts on jerseys and goat masks and all these things and just yells and screams on TV all the time. So I think these guys are pretty good for this baby crying competition.
Yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Like I think that they're just so different, but they both bring something special to the table that could make the baby cry. And it's really different that I don't know, man. They both have the ability. They're both kind of bring that scary factor. Like Mikhail Grabovski with the Supercuts haircut just looks like a menace. Like he has this creepy little pedo smile in his headshot for the Islanders. And then Shannon Sharpe is just a loud guy, and he's used to wearing masks, used to props. He knows what it takes to get a rise out of an audience. Yeah, I guess the baby would be the audience in this scenario. But yeah, man, I think they're both more than capable of making a baby cry. The question is, who takes this one? And this baby competition, I got a lot of questions. I just like who like volunteers their children for this?
I think just like the people of the community and like the surrounding areas, they just volunteer their children. Like they believe that the children crying is healthier for the children themselves and the community that they live in. They think it like wards off evil spirits and like makes the child grow happier and healthier. So I feel like in these places surrounding, where was it again?
Someplace in Japan, right?
Yeah, the Sensoji Temple in Tokyo.
Okay, well,
I feel like these people in Tokyo are like they think it's a good thing for them and for the community, so they want their children to be a part of it.
Yeah, but you got to be able to, like, they say like, oh, it's believed to be it's believed to make the child grow happier and like healthier and live a longer life, right? Like you got to think with all the years this has gone on, like you should be able to actually fact check that.
Yeah, like,
I mean, I'm sure you can keep a record of like the people who have been in the competition and then actually provide some hard evidence as to
how long
whether or not they've yeah. Like I don't want to hear this like it's said to have happened. Like you're more than capable of checking this information.
I think at this point though, it's more tradition than anything. Like it's strictly just about the tradition of the event.
Yeah, I still want to know whether it actually is true or not, though.
Like if these crying children, the more you cry as a child, the happier and longer you live.
Yeah. Do you think any of them have seen therapists for like
they're traumatized from this experience?
Yeah, you're a little infant baby and you get this big man.
It's a sumo wrestler wearing his sumo outfit. Yeah.
And a mask. That's gotta like
and just yelling at you to cry.
Yeah, that's got to stick with you for quite some time. Like I'm no psychiatrist, but
they are infants though, like actual infants. So they might be before the point of remembering that this was something they took part in. The only thing is though, you probably go back and you're like, wait, I had to do this. I was on that stage. At that point, the first time you realize that you were a part of the competition, that could be traumatizing.
Yeah. All of a sudden you get like a That's So Raven flashback, like
of you on stage staring at the sumo wrestler crying
under the bright lights with people just chanting, thousands of people in the audience.
What about the kids though who don't cry? Like,
Oh my
are their
god.
parents just like, oh no, oh no, like we're
Yeah.
this child
He's
is
doomed.
it's
He's
doomed.
cursed.
Yeah, there's what are we gonna do with this child? Because like they go up
The
there and
amount
it's
of
like
evil spirits that they're gonna like have to deal with is just absurd.
the community is just chanting like shame, shame, shame as the baby's being carried off the stage because
Yeah,
it
yeah,
didn't ward
man.
off any evil spirits.
Oh my god, just a cursed child.
Yeah,
I don't know whether or not. Do you think the parents would have any resentment for that child as it like grew older?
they're like, you didn't cry,
Yeah.
and that's why we're in this situation. That's why you failed sixth grade math. You didn't
Yeah.
cry.
Oh man. I just think there's a lot that like there's so much like stuff that could happen in the aftermath of this competition that I just love to be a fly on the wall for. I just
Yeah,
love to see like what would happen. This is what happens.
I think there should be just a study on like what happens to these kids that
Yeah.
partake in the
Like a
competition.
Netflix documentary.
Yeah, like what happens to them, and then like 30 years down the road,
Hmm.
where they're at, then find out how long they live for and stuff. It would be a
Yeah.
long research process, but I think someone
Yeah.
should do it.
Yeah. I think that'd be good. And then you get the little cool montage music as like it's like, oh, so and so ended up living till 86.
Yeah, and their competitor who cried more lived till 133.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Amazing. Amazing stuff.
yeah. Okay. Who wins this competition, Guy? Grabowski or Shannon Sharp?
Like I'm speaking personally, like
And these guys are wearing the sumo outfits. I'm like, they've got it.
yeah, okay. If it was me personally and I was the baby in that situation, I think I'd cry more with Mikhail Grabowski. Like just looking at this guy's pictures, he just looks like he's got dead eyes, man. Like I don't know what it is. He just looks like he has dead eyes. He's got this little grin and
Yes, Merc.
no emotion behind those eyes.
Yeah.
So I think I'd just be a little infant, like just see right through that. I just a soulless man try screaming at me with no emotion behind his eyes. It would be a pretty terrifying thing for any infant. I think Mikhail
Yeah.
Grabowski would be fun.
I'm gonna go the other way. I'm thinking Shannon Sharp. The problem here is that I think that the look alone Grabowski hasn't beat. I think Shannon Sharp looks like a happy, nice, easygoing guy who would be like pretty fun to be around and just very nice and generous. Like just strictly based off of like if you looked at this guy, you'd be like, that's a nice guy. Like, you know,
Yeah.
he's got like warm and welcoming. But what I'm gonna go with making the child cry is I think his voice is so deep and he's loud
Yeah.
that he could just have a normal conversation with the child and the child might start crying. Like he could just
That's
talk to the
true.
kid and just start talking to him, and the child's like so intimidated because his voice is so deep and loud while he's speaking. And
Mhm.
he's just like go on these rants about basketball and the NFL and stuff. And
With
then the child
with
is
a
just
baby?
yeah. And the child is just
Debating a
like
baby.
oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, LeBron is the GOAT. Like they're just going back and forth with this child.
And the
Man,
child starts crying and he's like, stop crying.
you know you're wrong, just admit it.
Yeah.
Man, that's a good point. I Grabo has got to be. He's a competitor. I think he could raise his voice. He looks like a quiet guy. He probably is a quiet guy. I don't know how those Belarusian, German, like Russians operate, but I think he could raise his voice if there's a lot on the line with these high stakes in a competitive environment. I think he could potentially raise his voice. He could be a loud guy.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm sticking my guns on Shannon Sharp here. I think
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp wins this one, and just that loud intimidation factor, and he can really get up there. Like we never saw Grabowski really show that much emotion. I wouldn't say, especially compared to Shannon Sharp, but that's just because he's on TV. Really, we see that. But I'm sticking my guns and go with Shannon Sharp here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree to disagree with you on this one. But what
Okay,
a competition!
Yeah, what a great competition. Baby crying.
If it was you and I doing it, who do you think could make the
Yes.
baby cry more?
Oh, maybe we need to add this element into each episode. Is like who would
Yeah.
win in like our competition.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like either way, the answer could be fairly insulting. If like if I pick you pick me.
No, man, I don't know. I think I wouldn't be able to keep a straight face.
You would just start laughing.
Yeah, man, like in front of a crowd too. Like I look up.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
the hell am I doing right now? Just cry. I don't think either of us would be good at it.
We'd
but-
make the child laugh.
Yeah.
The child would be
It's like
laughing at us, like, look at
the
these idiots.
new Monsters Inc. energy, just powering neighborhoods with that shit.
Yeah,
Rocket
when
the
yes,
canister.
that's what it is. It's Monsters Inc. They figure out that the laughing provides like just as much, if not more, energy, so they
Yeah.
switch it over to laughter, and they're
Yeah.
having like Sully and Mike Wazowski like comedy shows and stuff.
All the helpers become like the main acts, and
Yeah,
yeah,
so
that'd be
they
us.
change it. Yeah, that would be us. We'd change it from the Scare Factory to the Laugh Factory.
Yeah. Watch it just welcome more evil spirits. We just sewer this community.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Like we get up on stage and they start booing us because the children are too happy. They're like, oh
Yeah.
my God, our children, that goes back to our children are doomed. And so is this
Yeah.
community because these two buffoons got
Yeah.
up on stage and started making our kids laugh.
It just doesn't rain for like 4 months straight, and all the harvests go to shit. And
Yeah.
like,
It's directly traced back to us.
oh god. All right, man. Yeah, this community is just. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. If we get up there, your community, Seward. Seward. Okay, I need to ask you about this because I've kind of forgot that it actually happened. And then I think that I was watching a TV and it was like a commercial or something came up, some type of advertisement that reminded my parents about it and they brought it up to me. But I want to know if you've ever had a time where someone texts you or calls you and you think it's someone else who has the same name. And here's my story with it.
Okay.
So there was this kid that I went to elementary school with. Not really like into sports or athletics, didn't play sports, like didn't watch them away from school or at home, like nothing like that. And then there I had another friend who had the same name, didn't go to our school. It was through like other things. I think I think it was my sister's sports, and then they had the same name, but basically one day we get a voicemail because this is when we had like a home phone and stuff still, and you could leave voicemails. Like we don't have a home phone anymore. I don't know if you still have that, but
I do.
okay.
So annoying.
So we get a voicemail and I come home from something. Whoa. And my parents say to me, you've got a voicemail here from person A. And I was like, oh, okay. I listened to it and it was like through the phone. So it was really like kind of muffled and stuff. And you couldn't hear it clearly, but they said they invited me over for the Super Bowl. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, that's kind of weird. Like, this guy doesn't even watch sports. Like, why would he invite me for the Super Bowl? And me and my parents thought it was that guy. So I call him back to talk to him. And I said, oh, thanks for inviting me to the Super Bowl. And he goes, Super Bowl? He was so confused because he was like, he knew what the Super Bowl was, but when he answered the phone and I asked him like said thank you for inviting me, he was beyond confused, as if like he sounded like he never heard of the Super Bowl before in his life.
Is this your skin?
And it just, yeah, is this your skin? And it just ended up being like the most awkward situation because I was like on the phone with this guy, like, oh, like you didn't invite me for the Super Bowl. And we're like trying to scramble, like figuring out which of my friends it was who has like the same name and invited me over. And we're trying to figure it out. We're like, oh my God, what the heck is going on? And then ultimately, I'm pretty sure we ended up figuring it out because the guy like called back and was like, hey, like you didn't answer my call the other day. And I was like, oh, like, sorry, dude, I called someone else. Like, whoops. But yeah, I don't know. I just like, that was the one that really stands out because a really funny thing that when it happened, because it was like,
yeah,
it was pretty, I guess it happens less now, especially with caller ID and stuff.
Yeah.
But at that point where it was strictly voicemail and like they didn't leave a phone number or anything, they just said, hey, it's blank.
Just horrible phone.
Yeah, we were easily like,
yeah,
10, 11 or something, I would think. But like, still, it was like no phone number, no anything. And
no
I called
last
this guy.
name.
Yeah,
no
I
middle
called the
initial.
guy. No, just straight up dropped the first name, and I was like, just assumed it was this
kind
kid.
of cocky of the guy.
Yeah, like he's gonna know who it is. He knows what's up. No, had no idea. I don't know. Have you ever had any experiences with like the wrong person?
I like not in that way. I've had experiences like so I don't know. There's like just thinking when you brought it up, like the same name, wrong person. I don't really have many friends who share first names. Like I'm pretty like fortunate in that regard, but I have been on the end of like a few mix-up blunders, more specifically as it pertains to like texting. There have been
Okay.
times where I've had like some conversations going and sent like some pretty embarrassing like shitty texts to the wrong people.
Ooh.
And it's like it's nothing to write home about, nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
But like there have been a few times, like one with you is when I sent you like like a Netflix party link at like
Yeah.
at like 2 a.m.
Yeah. I was like, Magee.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, whoops, my bad. That's like one, just an example of one. But there have been like some worse ones than that. It's like, oh shit, like, and then try to explain it, like, no, sorry, this wasn't like, yeah, it's tough. It's tough to kind of to kind of recover from that.
Yeah, so I've actually had some kind of funny ones, like not necessarily in that way, but like even just being mixed up with people and stuff. Cause like when I got to high school, we had another friend in our friend group named Zach. And then we ended up, neither of us went by Zach. We just ended up going off of everyone just called us off our last names. And that was kind of when I went to, it like became Phillips, and then it just became Philly. And then at some point it transferred over to Phil.
Yeah.
I think it honestly might not have transferred into to Phil until I even got to university, and I think they started calling me that there. But when I was playing, because that happened, and then at university I had another friend with named Zach as well, but we were both Zach P. So it was like even more. So then, but he just went by Zach or his last name, and then I was just strictly Philly or Phil at that point. But this was like the most confusing situation that we had. And both of these guys have been on this podcast. I played summer hockey for the last few summers. Obviously couldn't last summer or this summer because of COVID, but with Marcus Phillips and Zach Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm Zach Phillips, and I had Zach Roberts, Marcus Phillips, and Marcus goes by Philly and Zach goes by Zach. So people would just say Zach or Philly. And I was just like, boys, like, fuck, we have to dial it in here, because at any moment I'm way too confused here of who's being talked to. Like it was just all over the place.
Conversations happening. You're just like literally your neck is just snapping back and forth, trying to keep up with everything going on.
Yeah. And then it was like when I played, I would go back and forth between forward and D with these guys. And when I played forward, I usually played on Zach's line. And then when I played D, I was Philly's D partner.
Oh, what a mess.
So it was like, let's just like make this even harder for everyone involved. Yeah. And we were just, it was fully just at that point, I was kind of just like, all right, I will just look every time and just figure it out from there, because it's way too hard to assume that it is or isn't me. Yeah. So just go with it is and then figure it out from there. Because there would be times where like someone's talking to me and I was just like assuming it was the other guy, and then they're like, yeah, like, yo. And I'm like, oh shit, sorry. Like, yeah. So you're talking to him. Yeah.
Stop answering everybody altogether. It's like,
yeah. I just needed like another name.
You know what? Well, yeah, like you needed like another like this nickname. You gotta, you can't shorten it more. So it just should be something completely out there. Like just a new, like just a whole new name. There's nothing to do with it at all.
Yeah.
And you can just pick it. Just pick it. Go for one.
Do you want to give it? Let's throw out a name for me.
Yeah, like the third party nickname, like just in case, like you are with Zach Roberts and Marcus Phillips at the same time again. You need like another nickname, like an alternate jersey of names.
Yeah. Literally the alternate jersey. You show up and like both your jerseys, home and away, are too similar to that jerseys the other team brought. Yeah. So you got to throw on the alternate.
What's your middle name, Philly?
John Paul.
JP is the easy. I guess you're JP now.
Yeah, I'm JP. I'm just strictly going. Everyone's gonna be like, "What the hell? Like, what is your name now?" I'm just gonna change like all my socials to JP and stuff. And just like make it really confusing for everyone.
What the fuck? Yeah.
People are like looking for me. It just says JP.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's like, I feel like I should just change all my shit to William and then have people.
Yeah, I don't know anyone. I don't think I know anyone else named William. I'm trying to think. I played with one guy with lacrosse, but that was it. He went by Will. I can't really think of any other ones. So yeah, you're William. There you go.
Or a Billy. Go by
Billy. I'm gonna start calling you Billy every time I refer to you on this pod. I'm just gonna call you Billy.
That's so joke, man. I
Billy
feel
Magee.
like what a handle. It sounds like a
That
folk.
does flow pretty well, eh?
Just
Billy McGee.
rolls off the tongue. You know what's crazy? Now that you've actually mentioned it, and I had some time to think about the whole name mix-up thing, I haven't been on the receiving end of like. Actually, you know what? It was the exact same situation as you because Reader sent me a message. I got a message. It was like him and his buddies had like a cottage weekend planned or something, and they sent me a text to like me and my girlfriend, and they loop us in like a group chat. And they're like, "Hey, like, here's the plans for like our cottage weekend, like whatever." And I'm like, "Oh, like I hadn't seen it because like I wasn't on my phone that day." And then I get a text from Reed being like, "Hey man, so sorry to like include you in this like cottage plans. Like that was supposed to go out to like our other friend Ryan, and it like our like so his our buddy Soaps, like his girlfriend made the plans. And when they said Ryan, like she just assumed it was me because she had met me before. So
Right.
my girlfriend and I both get this message. Like I'm like kind of excited. Like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
And
we're
then
going to the
just
cottage.
yeah, and then no, just sorry guys, like wrong Ryan.
Whoops.
Yeah,
Whoops.
yeah, that was honestly a tough soak.
I don't
It's okay, Reed. No hard feelings. A little
this
bit.
one isn't like a name one, but so we went to a cottage one summer, and the like some of the people in our friend group, I get like the girls in our friend group are still friends with this one girl who's one of the guys in our group's ex-girlfriends.
Mhm.
And so while we were like arranging everything for the cottage weekend, one of the guys or one of the girls, sorry, sends a text so that they can arrange rides up to the cottage and like who's going to drive, what time are we going to leave at? And they send the text in the group chat that the ex-girlfriend of the one guy is in. And she like responded and was like, "Oh, like when are we leaving? Like what day and stuff? Like what do you want me to bring?" And like we all heard about it and we're just like, "Oh, like whoops." But
Was she
it
not
was
coming?
okay. No, she wasn't coming. She wasn't like involved. They're just friends with her still and like had a group chat with her
Yeah,
and
so
like
it was the
accidentally
wrong
sent
group
it in
chat.
there. Yeah, they sent it to the wrong group
Ooh,
chat. And then
that's
it
tough.
was all good and like she didn't care and stuff and there was
It's
no
never
hard feelings at all.
personal.
But
Yeah,
it
it's never
no,
personal. It's not like
it's just like that's not a name one. It's more of just like a whoops, like
yeah.
yeah.
I think everybody's been there. We've all been on a. I feel like we've all had a few like slip up moments like that. It's like, oh fuck, my bad,
Yeah.
my bad.
That
Yeah,
wasn't for you. Sorry. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. It
That's
was
a topic for another pod. I think we can get into the deeper whoops stories.
yeah. Okay, well, because I'm at work, I outside all day, I get bad seasonal allergies. So every day I have to take like Claritin and then I bring cold and sinus with me. I eat like natural
Yeah.
honey from
Oh god, you're just
bees.
falling asleep behind the work truck wheel, eh?
Yeah,
Like
like
that makes you so drowsy.
I'm so like no, I get the non-drowsy for sure.
Oh,
I
okay,
drink
good,
like
good,
two
good.
coffees and stuff. Like I'm loaded up and there's no way I'm falling asleep. But I load up so that I'm ready to go and I can like fight the allergies off throughout the day.
Yeah.
But I definitely still get sneezes and like sniffly nose like from time to time, and then I have to battle it. Some days it's really bad actually. Like you'll just look at me and you'll think I am so fucked up. Like I'm
Yeah.
like my eyes are red and like swelling, and I've got like tears coming out my eyes and like
Oh
all
god.
day. And like,
It's a rough weekend for Zach.
yeah,
Your
I'm
boss is
just like
probably like, who is this degenerate that's working for me?
yeah, and I'm just like battling, like just trying to like open my eyes and like keep doing what I'm doing, and it can get bad from that perspective, but like it's not that common at least. But now,
Yeah.
like as I'm getting past kind of all the pollen and the allergy season for the most part, I try to ease my way out of taking all the allergy pills so that I don't have to like stay on them every single day, right? Like that's kind of
Yeah.
miserable. But I'll get recently I've actually figured I didn't have this last year, but recently I've been having this happen now. I don't take the allergy pills and I'll just sneeze a little bit. I don't get like stuffed nose or anything like that, but I'll
Yeah.
sneeze. Well, as it's been going on and like the allergies are going away more and more, I keep getting the feeling of I'm going to sneeze and then I can't or I don't sneeze.
Oh, that's the worst feeling ever.
It's so terrible because sneezing, as much as it can suck, as long as you don't have like runny nose or stuffed nose or like
Yeah.
swelling eyes, sneezing is
It's
like
a
kind of
good
satisfying. It like
it
feels good
is,
like when
man.
you
It
get the
does feel
sneeze
good.
out.
Yeah.
But like that feeling of like, and then you just don't sneeze. It's
Yeah.
so shitty. It's such a shitty feeling.
It
And
is.
I was trying to think of like what other feelings there are out there that are like similar to that.
Well, one, what you got to do is when you feel a sneeze coming on, but you just can't like get there, you got to stare into light. Like if you look at a bright thing, you'll
It makes you
sneeze.
sneeze?
It makes you sneeze. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, can confirm. I've tested it multiple times and I still do it to this day. Like whenever I
So what
feel
if
the
you
need to sneeze,
okay.
I'll like look up at a light or like look at the sun and like the brightness, I don't for whatever reason, makes you sneeze. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna try
Yeah.
this out.
Give
Maybe
it a
if
try.
it maybe if it's gonna happen, like I'll videotape it and put it on the lad's story or
Yeah.
something.
Can't
Just like
just be like,
prove that it absolutely
yeah.
you're just gonna have
Myth
me having a sneezing
confirmed.
attack on there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Guys,
it
can
works for
confirm
me.
that.
Like I'm pretty sure like it works for me and I'm pretty sure it's just like a common thing that people do is like look into lights and
Okay. I don't think I'd ever
yeah.
heard that.
Yeah, give it a try though. See if it works for you. Like I could be completely wrong and it could just be something that works for me and nobody else, but
Right.
I have a feeling it's like a common thing, or not a common thing, but like something that actually works with a scientific reason behind it that I just don't know.
I feel like you just gave me one of those like honestly, the only one that comes to my mind when you were saying those things is like the Cialis commercials and stuff where they're like,
Ask
ask
your
your
doctor.
doctor if Cialis
Yeah.
is right for you. Works for
Ask
me.
your doctor if staring into the sun is right for you.
He's gonna be like, maybe not so good for your eyes.
Yeah, you're gonna get cataracts or some shit.
Yeah.
You're gonna look at your pupils are gonna be all gray. Like
Yeah.
at least you sneezed, but you just lost all vision.
Yeah, congrats on the sneezing. Now you're blind. Like
Oh,
it's good trade-off.
yeah.
But
Yeah, sneezing, like having to sneeze and not sneeze is, to get back to your original question, sucks.
yes.
And I don't know if there's a feeling quite like sneezing. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I maybe like an itch, like, but it's like, but no, that wouldn't even make sense because it'd be like
No,
an itch
no.
that you feel that like isn't there.
Okay, so here's one that I'm thinking of that
Maybe
like
like phantom leg syndrome.
maybe I couldn't speak on that one.
No, I can't speak on it either.
No, like this is the good direction I was headed, not quite phantom leg syndrome.
Oh shit.
When you're like thinking of a song, you know all the lyrics, but then you just
Oh
can't
my
think of that
God.
one lyric, and you're like,
Yes.
or
You're singing along to it and you're like, holy shit, like I know
Yeah.
this. Or like you know the tune so well, but you're just like, what the hell is like the words to this?
or you're like thinking of a movie and you're explaining a movie to somebody, and you're like, it was Monsters Inc. and the characters were Mike Wazowski and Sully, and the guy who plays Sully. And you just can't get there, but you know what I mean? Like you just can't get there. And
Yeah.
you're like, you can picture the guy, you can hear his voice, but you just can't get to the name. I think
Yeah.
that's like pretty similar.
That's a great comparison, Zach, honestly.
Because it's like, it's there and you're like,
yeah.
no, and you just can't get there.
Yeah.
But you know
man.
what?
That
You
happens to
know
me
what
all
is
the
a
time.
satisfying? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No problem.
Pretty satisfying though. So if there's the ones where you like can't sneeze, but have you ever had it where like you can't sneeze and then you're like all of a sudden it goes away and then you just sneeze and you're like, oh thank God, like I sneezed. The same feeling to that is when you remember the person's name without having to search it up. Like if you can't get there on thinking of the person's name and then you remember it without having to Google it, because then you're like, I remembered it. I knew what it was.
Like, and it's like 40 minutes later, you'll be by yourself and you'll just like
You
shut
just
it
think
out
about
loud.
it.
Like,
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, you idiot.
It's
You
like,
blew it.
if you go and Google it, if you go and like search Monsters Inc. Sully actor and it comes
Yeah.
up, then you're like,
It's not as satisfying.
like,
It's
yeah,
not
you're
as
like,
satisfying.
I knew it, but like I couldn't
Yeah.
get there. But you
Yeah.
think of it yourself and you're like, yes, like I did it. I did it.
Yeah. Who do you think you are? I am.
Yeah.
It is so true. It is so true. That's a great comparison, honestly.
I do that with not necessarily movies, but I do that with like sports stuff all the time. I'll be trying to think of like a team, or like I'm like, who won that game, or who won that year? Who won that year? And then I'm like, Canada won. They beat Russia 4-3 in overtime in the 2009 World Juniors. Then I'm just throwing out random like example. I don't even know who played in the finals of that, but like You know what I mean? And you're like trying to
Yeah.
think, and you're like, Russia lost 4-3 in overtime, or Canada beat someone 4-3 in overtime. Like, who was it? Who was it? And you're like, Russia. It was Russia. You like remember it
Yeah.
yourself. And you're like, oh, thank God. Like,
I think for me, like what it happens most is like, well, I'll be like describe or like comparing something to like a scene in a movie. It's like, oh, it's like that scene in that movie where like this guy was like scuba diving and then he like the tank exploded and it'll like describe this whole scene but not know who was in it or what movie it was from. And I'm like,
yeah,
holy
you
shit,
remember
what was that?
everything
And then
in it.
yeah. And people are like listing off movies. Oh, is it this? Is it that? And you're like, no. Is it this? And it's like, man, I don't think that's a movie. And you're like, yes, it's a fucking movie. Like I've seen it. I remember it. And you start questioning your own like sanity. You're like, was this a dream?
Did I make it up?
Like,
yeah.
like, is this real? Is this real life? Is this a fake video? And you're just like lose your shit. And then finally you'll be like, oh my God, it's this.
Yeah. But it's just so satisfying when you get there yourself and remember it. And then you're like,
it really is.
That was the one. And you can like tell everyone and you're like, this was the movie and it was with these people. And then they're like, oh, and then you're just, yeah, like I knew what I was talking about. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah. I swear I know what I'm talking about. Like, yeah. It's a good feeling to just prove people wrong, just prove the haters wrong.
Yes, for sure. Well, the other day, one of the guys I talked about it, I think last week, the Phineas and Ferb, because we were talking about the songs and then how old you have to be to watch some of the stuff. So my buddy and I ended up listening to Phineas and Ferb songs on the way into the site one day from the yard. And there's just tracks, like they are good tracks. Like if you want to go on Apple Music, honestly, we're huge Phineas and Ferb fans.
Hold on. Stop. Apple Music?
Yeah, what?
Spotify?
No, I go Apple Music.
Bro, come on.
Okay, that's a whole topic for another day because we have something we want to get into.
That'll be a master debaters. For next episode, maybe.
Yeah, Apple Music or Spotify. Okay. Okay. So, anyways, Apple Music, Apple Music. Yeah, you can go on and search like Phineas and Ferb albums and you can listen to them. And some of them have like extended tracks. Like you can listen to their intro. Did you know that their intro was written and sung by Bowling for Soup?
Of course I knew that. Bowling for Soup is like one of my top 5 favorite bands of all time.
Oh, nice. Did not know that. Yeah, but if you go on there, you can listen to it. There's an extended version of the intro.
Yeah, dude, it's the full song. It's hype.
Yeah, it's literally the full song.
Best day ever. Yeah, and I was like, today's gonna be the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have.
So you can listen to all those, and it's great songs. Like the Aglet song. Like what's the thing that's on the end of your shoe? Like Aglet. Aglet. Don't forget it. Yeah. Gonna tie the world together.
Yeah, that's great.
But
Harry. You're extraordinary. I love those like emotional ballads.
Yeah. What about the Little Brothers song? The Little Brothers.
Oh,
Little Brothers, cause you're younger and we're related.
Yeah. That's amazing. I like the love song where it's like when an evil boy meets an evil girl.
Yes.
Love strong enough to rule the whole wide world. We both maniacally laugh at all the same stuff. Yeah, man, their songs are legit.
They were, man. They were. I'm trying to think of some other ones actually right now off the top of my head. Like the Fanadroids and Furbots. Fanadroids and Furbots. Do you remember that one? They built like clone robots of themselves. Dude, they had that whole song. This one is actually sorry, this one might be one of the best ones. Do you remember when they try to get the band back together?
Love Hand.
He's a yes, and they are the guy's a librarian and they're singing with the librarian and he's stamping the books and he's
you're saying that you don't got rhythm. But listen what you're doing right there. With that stamp and that book, you got a real nice hook. Sounds to me like you got rhythm to spare. I got no idea what you're talking about. I got as much rhythm as that chair. What happened to me was a tragedy. You don't have to be a millionaire. I got a real sweet deal going on here. I got all the books that I can read. With these sweet old ladies and this carpet from the 80s. What more can a librarian need? Besides, I ain't got rhythm. Because I ain't got rhythm. I ain't got rhythm. Yeah, man.
It's so fire. I'm actually I'm just gonna
make that my morning alarm to wake up to every morning.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm just gonna pull it up right now because I want to just remember some of these other songs like really quick before we even get into some of the other stuff here. Gitchy Gitchy Goo.
That's a
That one was
classic.
classic. That's the
I
love
love it.
song.
That's the one where like the mom writes, and then they're like in the elevator on the way up to like some place, and then her song starts playing on like as the elevator music.
Yes. Yeah. Backyard Beach. It's the
Oh
backyard beach. The
yeah.
backyard
You
beach.
remember Come on kids, just squirt that gelatin monster. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Woo! Woo!
um,
Squirt that gelatin monster.
there's a platypus controlling me. Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
Yeah,
Do you remember
yeah.
that? There's a platypus controlling me, and he's like with his daughter, and they're having a party, and he's like got this CDs glued to his
And
hands. He's like,
she like loves it.
there's a platypus controlling me. And he's like, no, there's a platypus controlling me. Perry's like under the table controlling him. Just trying to remember some.
One other thing is like even like Perry's like agent song, like he's
Yeah.
a mammal of action, like he's got he's got a beaver tail and a bill. Perry the platypus. Even
The
that
Perry
song,
song was fire.
It was, man.
The Perry Platypus theme.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm Lindana and I want to have fun. Do you remember that? That was the mom. That was the mom.
That was the mom. That's the one I
song.
was singing. Yeah.
Yeah, like My Undead Mummy and Me. Some Evil Boys, EVILBOIS. Remember that one?
Yeah.
So yeah, oh yeah, and Squirrels in My Pants.
Of course, Simp. The original
Squirrels in
Simp.
My Pants was the original Simp. But okay, so because of this, we were listening to the theme song again. And for some reason, like Phineas and Ferb, obviously you watched it like before school, after school, whatever the case may be. But I feel like once you were in the summer and you like sit down, like you've got time off, you're not going to school anymore, like you're in elementary school, you sit down and you like watch Phineas and Ferb and you hear that theme song come on. It's like very summer feeling. Like all of the stuff they did was like in the summer. It was based in the summer because it was there's 104 days of summer vacation. And I started thinking what are some like the best summer songs? So now like, here we go. We can run through these. We won't spend like an insane amount of time breaking these down, but summer songs and smells of the summer. So let's start with smells of the summer because it's a shorter list that we kind of have here, but like just simple, like barbecues, smelling like steaks, chicken, hot dogs, hamburgers, or like be on a job site and smelling people cooking already and stuff is like, amazing. It's so hot outside. The sun's out. It's great. I honestly don't even mind that I'm like hungry and just grinding away and like smelling the barbecue. It's just kind of, it adds to the ambience. Pools, smelling like the outdoor pool, like chlorine, if you got it in there, like there's just sometimes that natural like pool smell. That's not like indoor pool where it's over chlorinated, but it's just like,
I want to tie into that, like kind of the pool smell. Also like the smell of like wet towel or like,
it is very, very distinct and like very noticeable around summertime.
Like, yeah.
It's like, it's that point of like, it's a fresh towel, but it's now wet because you just used it. So it's still clean, but it's like a little bit damp and like it does have a distinct smell.
Yeah.
Gas. The smell of gas, like I feel like you smell it a lot more in the summer, even just like
that's a little
driving down.
Good.
But
be careful with that one.
Yeah, you're gonna have people like out huffing gas after listening to this. But like I think specifically off this one would be like marina gas.
Oh yeah,
you could talk to it more than I could because like you have a cottage, but
yeah, filling up the boat, spilling a little bit in the water by accident, and then just like you have to bend over to reach on the side where you put the gas in, and your nose just comes a little too close to the hole where you put the gas, and it's just something about it is just so satisfying. Whoever says they don't like the smell of gas is a liar. It's a great smell.
It is a great smell. Sunscreen. It's just common associated with summer.
Yeah,
mulch.
Some are like so overpowering though. The sunscreens, like you get like the coconut ones or whatever. Like
yeah.
Like some of them smell like straight Malibu, and it's like, damn.
Yes, it's like the hand sanitizer is turning into tequila.
Yeah. Oh, that's horrible. Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay, mulch. When people are mulching their gardens and like getting even just that soil that they use for the gardens. Yeah, so their gardens, lawn mowing. Lawn mowing is so classic. Like
the trimmings, like the grass clippings, honestly, like they hit different. They're
McGee's gonna be outside like smelling grass and gas.
Grass and gas, baby.
The beach. Just going to the beach. I feel like the beach just kind of has that distinct smell. If you're like at a
Mhm.
lake or at the ocean or whatever you're at, you go outside and you kind of just get the smell of beach, whether it be like the seaweed or just the water, the sand, whatever it is. Like it's just, you smell beach. Fire pits. I
Fire pits are
love a
great.
fire pit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Being at it, having one in the neighborhood, whatever the case may be. I love a fire pit.
How do you feel about going to like a fire or like having like a fire, whether it be a campfire or a fire pit, and then having that campfire smell linger on like a sweater for like a while? Because I know some people who are conflicted about it and like hate it, and whereas I personally love it. Like I would purposefully wear that sweater around for the next like week, and just I love smelling like campfire. I love
Okay,
it.
here's the thing though. I like it, but it's the situation where you wear it is contextual. Like if I wear it to the fire and like let's say I wear like let's say I wear just a t-shirt and it's like a nicer t-shirt, but I wear it and I'm out by the fire and now the t-shirt's gonna have that campfire smell. And like it's fine to like wear the t-shirt again or like a long sleeve or whatever the case may be. If you're going outside and you're gonna wear it and it's gonna have like a little bit of fire like hint to it, I think it's okay. But if you're going somewhere and you're like inside or you're like
Oh, I
you're
wouldn't go to like a fancy restaurant, man.
no, not a fancy restaurant, but like even if you're just like in an inside thing, like you're going to see family and you're all inside and you're just gonna wear that, I feel like that's like I wouldn't do that because
No,
everyone's
I
gonna be
probably
like,
wouldn't
this
do
guy
that.
smells like
Yeah,
fire. He was
but
sitting by the
I
fire until 4 a.m. last night.
yeah.
Like,
I'd wear it like inside on my own. Like an example of this
yeah,
would be I had a fire when I was at school, and then I
okay.
wore like a fleece sweater, and then I put on the sweater like to bum around the house like 2 days later, and it still like smelled.
Okay. Yeah, I think that like that's fine. That's fine. I like that. I'd rock with
Yeah,
that.
I honestly like
Um,
yeah I don't mind. It was good, man. I like it. I
yeah,
leave,
I like
leave me
it.
alone, guys.
Another
Let
one
me do
here
my
is
campfire smell.
s'mores or just roasting stuff on the fire pit. Like
Yeah.
even just barbecue aside, but just roasting stuff on the fire pit. I think that has like such a great smell. This one is not a good smell, but it's definitely associated with summer. Garbage.
Yes. Just straight. Yeah. Just
Just
garbage.
garbage. Like when summer comes around, it gets really hot and the sun's beating down on like the landfills or just your garbage sitting outside waiting for it to be picked up or the garbage truck coming by. It's like that hot air and the sun and the heat.
Yeah.
It just amplifies the smell of the garbage to a whole nother level that you just don't get when it's like colder or wet or whatever the situation may be or gray outside. Like the summer just really brings out the smell of garbage.
Yeah, and you gotta lump or manure in there with the garbage as well. Same kind of deal. Like especially like I don't know what it is about the Kitchener Waterloo region. I guess it's more agricultural. But when you
Yeah.
first get there, like early September, oh my God, does it ever reek?
When I would
And I've
drive
actually
through there to
seen
go
snow
back to
plow.
school, because we would drive through it to go to London, it just
Yeah,
ranked. It was
it is
so
it is
bad.
it is rank. It's you go nose blind to it though. Like you notice it for the first like 2 days, and after that it's just whatever.
It's
Because I
just
think it blows in from Guelph or something. It's got to.
true. It's not even your fault then. It's just
I might
strictly
not.
on Guelph at this
Yeah,
point.
I'm placing the blame elsewhere. I'm deflecting.
Wet concrete after rain.
It's a good smell.
Like even just like the worms aren't the greatest smell, but like you smell the worms, like the worms are all coming out. Early bird gets the worm charming
Yeah,
competition.
yeah. It's
Um,
earthy. It's just a good little mist.
yeah. So bug spray, very associated with summer. And then this last one here, this one I tried to explain to you, and I think you kind of are on the same page now, but it definitely like took you a little bit. I was talking to someone about these, and they said this, and as soon as they said it, I knew exactly the smell they were talking about. And I don't know if this is the right way to phrase it, but like AC with tiled flooring. So like if you come in your house after it's really hot outside and you have like hardwood floors, like I feel like the smell of the hardwood is very like distinct, or like
Amplified.
a
Yeah.
carpet is going to be distinct. But like a tiled floored room, especially like I notice it if you go on vacation or to somewhere hot and they have tiled floors, when the AC is on, it's just like that tile. Like I feel like it's very like specific. The room is colder, the floor is cold, like everything about it is just cooler and has that different feel. And then there's almost just like some sort of smell to it. Like I don't know, maybe it's just like a thing that I've noticed and nobody else is going to notice it, but like that's kind of as when they said it to me, I was like, yeah, I actually know exactly what you're talking about.
Like I vaguely know what you're talking about, With that being said, like I don't think I have much tile at my house,
Right. Like
and I
my
haven't really gone
bathroom
on
is
vacation
tiled.
too many. See, yeah, that might be it. Like I don't know, man. I
Not
can't.
on the
I
same
know what you're
page.
talking about. I like
Yeah.
have a vague understanding of what you mean,
Yeah.
but it's not something I could be like think back and recall a certain like time. Like I can't recall a specific instance where I can identify the smell.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so let's get into some summer songs. So these are either like summer anthems or songs about summer or whatever the case may be, or just
Yeah.
songs that feel good in the summer
We
and just
should we
seem
should
right.
do a little like either a draft or like just a ranking, a top 5 summer songs ranking list, like we
Okay.
did for like the greatest athletes of all time.
Okay. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking then. This episode, we'll go through these and we'll kind of chat about them a little bit here and there, just give our thoughts on them, go through them. Next, and then throughout this week, we'll have people write in. We'll put up polls, we'll put up stories, whatever the case may be. People can write in
No, you know
their
what? Let's do a
suggestions.
bracket, Philly.
Okay, and just do like 1v1 all the way through
The
until we get to the
greatest.
final one.
We can help we can seed them ourselves maybe.
Okay.
Like behind the scenes, we can seed them.
Should we do
We
like a
might get a
round of
little.
64 teams?
I
Like
think
March
so.
Madness all the way up in
Yeah.
here? All right, let's do
Yeah.
a summer madness, summer songs.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go through these quickly then. This one is very, very, very summer associated. And I actually, it's like, it keeps getting brought up to me because today on Twitter, I saw someone who was Pete Blackburn. He tweeted that the school that's across the street from him, it was their last day of school. And he said he envied the kids, that feeling that you get when you're finally out of school,
Oh,
your last day and you're heading into the summer. And do you remember what song used to always get played on that last day? It's like
school's out.
School's Out, Alice Cooper. And
Yeah.
I think that one
No
is
one put
just
it out.
so good because it's a good song, but then you just think about like you're a kid and like school's gonna be done and you're just gonna run amok for like 3 months or whatever the case may
104
be.
days.
Yeah, 104 days. And School's Out starts playing. It's your last day and you're just amped.
Just
You're like,
chomping at the bit to get
yeah,
out
like
there.
we're getting out of here. It's like you're literally playing a pump up song in like the back of this little kid's head as he's about to run out the doors to go to his parents to go home for summer break.
Yeah.
So School's Out, Alice Cooper.
Just all the information you just learned over the course of the year is just out the
Gone.
window.
Yeah,
All your
so
notes
gone.
just thrown into the air. Like it just
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. Summer of 69, Bryan Adams. Very, very summer.
Classic. That song is almost like it's almost too overplayed, I feel like. Like I get it, it's a great song, it's a classic, iconic song. But I hate when people I'm not trying to gatekeep classic rock by any means. Like I'm not trying to be like, oh, you don't know classic rock, because like don't be that guy. But I hate when it's like, oh, I know a song, and you put on like
Summer of 69.
yeah, it's like, oh, I'm a big fan of punk rock, and you put on like Mr. Brightside. It's like the equivalent,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Okay, I was gonna ask if that was where you were headed with that one.
It's it's like it is. It's like, oh, classic rock, yeah, I got you. Summer of '69. It's like, come on.
Okay.
Just be better.
Yeah, be better. The Boys of Summer, Don Henley. In the Summertime, Mungo Jerry. You showed me that one a couple years back. I fell in love with that song.
It's
love
a good
it.
track. It's
In
a
the
good track.
summertime when the weather is hot. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I love that
I
one.
love that the guys. I just love having that song come on in the car, because like if you have that CD album cover, it's just his face with those like glorious mutton chops, just
Yeah.
massive ass sideburns and this big fro. Just looks like a summery dude.
You can grow those mutton chops. You could probably look like
Mungo Jerry?
like that guy, Mungo Jerry.
But, yeah, maybe by next year's Halloween costume.
Yeah,
No,
Mungo Jerry.
down though.
Steal My Sunshine by Len.
Yes.
This one I wasn't like entirely sure, but like I kind of like it. Is Hot in Here, Nelly.
Mm-hmm.
Summer Nights, Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah, that's one from like Greece.
Yeah,
Or not Greece.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's Greece. Yeah. Surfing USA, Beach Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been to Typhoon Lagoon, Disney's Typhoon Lagoon? It's like the water park.
I've been to Disney like when I was really young, and I remember I was so young I like was too afraid to go on that like dinosaur ride. So like I must have been pretty young.
Okay. But at Typhoon Lagoon, it's like this outdoor water park they have. Outdoor, obviously. they play like Beach Boys songs like the entire day, like all Beach Boys songs, just like on a loop throughout the
Really?
entire park. Yeah, if you sit there, you could hear like the same Beach Boys song 100 times. But I think Beach Boys songs are pretty good summer songs, especially like
Yeah.
Beach Boys. Like, come on.
Yeah, they're a summer group for sure.
Yeah. Walking on Sunshine, Katrina and the Waves.
Yeah. I'm walking
Itsy,
on sunshine.
yeah, yeah. Hey, hey. Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. You know that one? Brian
I
Highland.
do. I didn't know it was Brian Hyland who sang it. I don't even know who Brian Hyland is, but I know the song. I feel like parents love that song.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. Um, this one is two songs of the same name, but one of them spelled differently. California Girls, Beach Boys again. California Girls, Katy Perry.
Yeah.
I think both of those great summer songs.
Good
All
summer
summer
tracks.
long, Kid Rock.
Oh my God, yeah.
Um, Knee Deep, Zach Brown Band. Toes, Zach Brown Band.
Zach Brown Band does is just a good it's a good summer group to listen to.
Yes, 100%. Call Me Maybe, Carly Rae Jepsen. I think that one was more associated with summer because it was a summer song at the time that it came out and it was like a huge summer hit. Less
Mhm.
so about like the actual summer vibes. Um, this one is the same thing. Wannabe, Spice Girls. You know that song?
If you
You
want to
want to
be
be
my
my
love.
lover.
Yeah,
You gotta
yeah,
get
yeah,
with
yeah.
my yeah.
Make it
Good
better.
Vibrations.
Friendship never ends.
Yeah, yeah. Good Vibrations, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Dude,
If you
that's
want
a
to
real
laugh, if
watch
you
the
want to
music
laugh, go
video.
watch the music video. Yeah, because I watched all the music videos for these songs, just like doing my research, doing my due diligence. It's Mark
Yeah.
Wahlberg. It's so funny.
I honestly I was older than I care to admit before I realized that Marky Mark and the Fun that it was Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. Okay.
I,
So I was probably in the same boat of like when I realized that Marky Mark was Mark Wahlberg.
I was probably like 16, maybe older, honestly. I don't know.
True. I don't know when it was that I figured it out, but I didn't know Good Vibrations was Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. I didn't know
Yeah,
that until I was writing this list.
'cause I knew the song before I knew it was Mark Wahlberg.
Okay, so I knew the song before I even knew it was Marky Mark. Like I before I even knew it was like them who did it. I
Oh,
didn't
I
realize
see.
it
I
was
see.
Marky Mark. Yeah. I just
Okay.
like heard the song. I was like, oh, this is like good song.
So
Like,
you
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah. I know
knew
this song. Good
yeah,
Vibrations. I just
you knew
never knew
Mark
it was Marky
Wahlberg was
Mark.
in Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, but you didn't know
Yes.
it was this song. Oh, okay, okay.
Yes, yes. This one, I love this one. Margaritaville, Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
Dancing in the Street, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. Surf City, Surf City, Jan and Dean. Here Comes the Sun, The Beatles.
I
Summer,
just think of the
Calvin
B movie
Harris.
when I hear that Here Comes the Sun, I just think of the B movie.
I don't remember it being played in the B movie. I
I don't
haven't
remember.
watched the B
Yeah,
movie in a while.
it's a great movie.
Summer, Calvin Harris.
Yeah.
Electric Love, Borns. Here's another good one. Kokomo, The Beach Boys.
I was literally singing that song today. I was like out on a bike ride, literally just like singing that to myself.
I've been singing it to myself nonstop for like weeks. And then when we were doing this list, I was like, it has to be in there.
Yeah.
Like
I don't
Aruba,
know.
Bahama,
Yeah.
come on, pretty mama.
I don't know where like it's been played recently that like both you and I have been singing it. Like it's got to be from like it's kind of funny how things are just in the back of your brain and then something will just like bring them up. And it's
Yeah.
it's even more prevalent when you're like, have you noticed if you spend a prolonged period of time with some person, you'll like out of the blue start like either singing a song or like say something at the exact same time.
Yes.
Because I'll do that with my brother all the time. We'll be sitting there and all of a sudden we'll be like, Jamaica, but like at literally the exact same time. It's like, holy
You just
fuck, what
break
just
out.
happened?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Aruba, Bahama, come on, pretty mama. Yeah. I do actually know that the like when you spend that time with somebody and you're like, you just like say something, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Seven Summers, Morgan Wallen. Rock Lobster, the B-52s.
Yeah.
This one's like a sad summer song, but Summertime Sadness, Lana Del Rey.
It's a sad summer. It's a sad summer.
It's called Summertime Sadness. Yeah.
Just fitting.
This one I think is just like a feel good one, and like you kind of
Oh
get like
man.
happy if you put it on in the summer. Boogie Wonderland, Earth,
Yeah.
Wind, and Fire.
Okay, first I think Earth, Wind, and Fire and Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Bee Gees are like ultimate summer bands to play. Like
Okay,
they're
I really
electric.
like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
They're
But like
sick.
some of the ones I just didn't put in here because like I don't know, I just didn't know if I was like that is like a summer song, and I was trying to go
Yeah,
with like
yeah.
specific ones. Um, Red Solo Cup, Toby Keith. That can be played all year, but like in the summer, it's just way better. Like you're just
Yeah.
chilling in a backyard by a fire, and Red Solo Cup comes on, perfect. And then a couple like One Margarita, Luke Bryan, Good Time, Nico Moon. That one's like a newer song. And then this one, the last one, you and I talked about it before we came on here.
Yeah.
Summer Breeze, Seals and Crofts.
Seals and Crofts, it's got to be one of the most underrated groups of all time. Like I didn't even know they existed until, but I knew their song. Like I didn't know who
Right.
Seals and Crofts were, but I knew the song. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, and then like it reminds me of the guy, Uncle Cracker.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Follow me and everything is all right. That's that guy, like the guy who
I
sings Drift Away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
I
yeah.
would could have put them on the same level of like
You know who showed me Uncle Cracker? Reed.
really.
Reed McKinnis. Yeah, he showed me Uncle Cracker. We were like sitting down one day and he was like, dude, you got to listen to this guy. And we started listening to Uncle Cracker together. And then,
Uncle
you
Cracker's
know, the
sick, but
song,
again,
the song
underrated.
that I
Everyone knows
sing.
"Give Me the People to Free
Yeah.
My Soul." Everyone knows that, but no one knows Uncle Cracker.
Yes. Yeah. And
Same
then,
kind
you
of
know, the
vibe.
song that I know every word to. And then I told you I know every word. And you were like, no way, me too. Um, Traveling Soldier by the Dixie Chicks.
Yes,
Reed showed me that one as well.
Reed showed me that one too.
Okay, there you go.
Reed,
So
Reed,
we
Reed was
both
on
know
a
every word.
yeah, because of Reed. Was on a huge Dixie Chicks wave.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had just gone to see a concert or something, but like I remember we'd drive to lunch every day, and it would always be Dixie Chicks playing in the car.
Yeah. So he's the reason that I know every word to Traveling Soldier as
Yeah,
well. So
me
shout
too.
out
So
Reader because that's pretty
shout
good.
out Reader, a lot of the week,
Yeah.
probably.
But Summer Breeze, Seals and Crofts was a pretty solid one because
Yeah.
I like had forgotten about it. And then actually I was telling you, like I started watching How I Met Your Mother kind of like before I go to bed just because when I get home from work, I'm absolutely gassed. I don't like have
Yeah.
time or the mental capacity to sit down and like watch a show right now. So I just put on something light and like it's better if I've
Background
seen it
noise.
because then I can
Yeah.
kind of just like tune it out and just like chill while I'm watching it. So I've seen How I Met Your Mother, so I put it on again. And Ted Mosby started singing Summer Breeze. And this is while I'm trying to write this list. And he starts singing it. And I was like, oh, and I go on my computer and just type it in. And I'm like, that's perfect. Like it just
That
fits
is
right in here.
perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So what we'll do is I don't know how many songs we have exactly in here. I will go through this list. I'm gonna you and I can sort them out into categories. So maybe we go with like a rock, country, pop,
Yeah.
and
Like the different divisions, the
yeah.
conferences.
So we go like conferences, and
Yeah.
then we'll within the conferences we can rank them, and
Okay.
then we'll put them together. And if we're short of 64, we'll just go through and like find 64. Or if we're just like close to 32, maybe we'll just cut it and go to 32.
Oh, you know what would be a good sleeper conference? Pop Soul. Because you got like sitting on the dock of the bay. And then you have
I
like
don't think
some
I know
other
that song.
really like
I
Otis
don't think
Redding.
so.
There's like old like these old
Oh,
soul
okay.
singers, and then they have like
Okay.
good summer tracks. Yeah, I'll work on that list. But man,
Okay, so we'll get that going, and then we'll do a bracket, and we'll update the bracket as it goes through. We'll do rounds as it goes, and we'll just see how many songs we have, and yeah, we'll just break it down to the best summer song ever, and we'll have that come out of it.
as voted by the listener. But keep in mind
Yeah.
that this list is a list. It doesn't really mean anything. There are more songs. We know that. Like this isn't
Yeah.
the be all definitive guide. This is
Yeah.
just bring the idea to you and then just spitballing a few songs that we like, that we enjoy, and then that we feel are kind
Okay,
of
so
like
here's
leading
what
us
we'll do
there.
actually too. I will post something on the lad's story tomorrow so that people can write in their best for favorite summer songs, and the ones that we don't have on our list already, we'll add to the list. And once our
And then
list
I'm
is
gonna
complete,
yeah.
we'll go through and rank them ourselves, put them in the conferences, and we'll start the competition.
Yeah.
All right,
Then
McGee.
I'll add some as well because I'll add a few because I didn't touch this list.
Okay. Okay.
Like, I gotta
Perfect.
add
So this
some of
list will
mine as well.
continue to grow, and then we'll have
Yes.
like the final 64. We'll have
Yeah.
a cut it down, get the
We'll have to.
64,
Yeah. That's
start
gonna
the
be a tough thing
competition.
cutting it to 64 because I feel like we'll
Yeah,
have more than 64.
probably. Well, McGee, I think that about does it for episode 84. It's been a good app. Broke
It
down
has.
a Naki Sumo baby crying competition in Tokyo, Japan at the Sensoji Temple. Grabowski versus Shannon Sharp. We had a draw in this competition. Talked about our names getting mixed up and just unfortunate text situations. The feeling of not being able to sneeze and things that are equivalent. We decided that we're going to open the Laugh Factory instead of the Scare Factory and not make babies cry. And we ended up actually getting into Phineas and Ferb and some of their best songs that they had before we got into our iconic summer songs, summer smells, summer feelings, all that kind of stuff. And now all of a sudden we have Lads and Lawn Chairs Summer Madness. It's instead of Summertime Sadness, it's Summertime Madness. Lads
I
and
like
Lawn
that.
Chairs,
That's good. That's
Summertime
just good
Madness.
branding. It's great
That is
branding.
good branding. So we got Summertime Madness, 64 of the best summer songs ever. We'll put them in categories, put them out for the people, and you guys can vote on who you think the winner is until we get down to the best song of the summer, the best summer song ever, whatever it is. We will get it down, voted by the fans, the followers of the Lads and Lawn Chairs, and it will be announced. It'll probably take a couple weeks to go through this competition. In all honesty, like I'm thinking we're probably gonna be at this thing for like 2 to 3 weeks.
It's gonna be a lot of work. I think Summer of '69 is a heavy one seed favorite. Like that's gonna be
I
a
think so
powerhouse
too.
in this tournament.
Yeah, I would think that one's gonna be high up there, but we will go through and rank all these songs, put them in the categories. Hopefully, you guys write in your favorite summer songs. And McGee, that pretty much does it for episode 84, I think.
Yeah, that pretty much does it for episode 84. Next episode will be 85% to episode 100.
Math guy.
That, right? Big math guy. And we're also very pleased to be having Ty Bridgewater, TikTok sensation, join us next episode. We're super excited about that. Fire us questions that you have for Ty so we can ask him through you. Yep. And you can listen to us and live vicariously and hear your questions being asked. Big things coming. Big things coming. We're back on the guest train. We're working on this the ultimate summertime madness song bracket. And yeah, man, I'm super excited.
All right.
Good shit in the works. All right, lads and ladettes, you know the drill. Catch us next week. Same time, same place, same one. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.